Welcome back to the Bad Blood Podcast, everybody. It's been a while since we've actually done a fully fledged podcast, so thought we'll get a good guest of the show on. Lewis Francis, my man, how are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm a good, my man. How's life been treating you recently?
It's good, aye. Everything's coming together nice. So,
Looking nice and bronze there, Lewis.
what do you think? I've not been on sunbed in ages.
Are you not? You're looking bronze. Mine's rubbed off and all. Sick.
I've just been talking to the kid from Spartan there earlier on. He said about that, and I was like, they reckon if you look good, you feel good. So
100%. Look good, feel good, fight good is the saying, I believe.
That's the one. That's what we were going for. So
yeah, 100%. So are you fighting this weekend?
No, I'm not now.
You're not. Obviously, because I'd seen the advertisement for Fight Fest 3, and I was just wondering. Obviously, you've had a couple of local fights on the local shows in the boxing. Has there anything come up for bare knuckle yet?
I got offered for the up and coming Newcastle show for BKFC.
You right?
It was a BFBA,
right.
Sorry.
Oh, BFBA.
BFBA, right? In the Northern Show, they offered us a fight. Obviously, I had every intention of taking it like up until this last boxing one, but like I say, obviously we're going to go into it anyway about the change of fight camps. But SBG's done a lot for us, and like I want to focus on the MMA and start aiming towards the MMA, like I had planned ages and ages ago. So obviously, I'm taking the time between now and the defence of my title, obviously to focus on the MMA. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, listen, obviously SBG, Davey, and all that, they've done nothing but try to help us, and they've got the best interests for me and my career at heart.
Yeah.
So obviously, I'm going after, like, it's only right I do what the plan is and what they say they can see in us and aim towards that. You know what I mean?
So like, is this? Sorry, go on.
I could have fought in the October show for D-Day. I've knocked that one back. Who else offered us a fight? BFBA's offered us. I've had a couple of fights chucked at us. I got offered to go over to Gromda and fight on that.
Right.
Obviously, but for the time being, up until the fight come for the defence of the title, I'm just focusing on MMA. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So obviously, you'll be doing a lot of grappling, a lot of ground game. Obviously,
all of it.
Switching stance. How are you finding it up now?
Do you know what it is like? When I come home in fucking November, and I was doing the MMA, like, it was frustrating us, but I think it was because I knew I took a boxing match. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, so I knew that, and I was getting injured in the same joints. I was getting injured in the same joints that obviously I needed to box, so it was frustrating as well. Obviously now, because there's nothing up, I can just focus all my energies on that, and I'm enjoying every second of it. You know what I mean? Like my kicks and that, like everything's just coming together nice. Like it's early days, but it's like the things that I'd already learned, they're still there now. Do you know what I mean? Like when I've come back, so yeah.
Because obviously the contrast in preparation styles and obviously learning techniques and stuff. The ground game, obviously, like you say, is a jigsaw puzzle in itself with the grappling and the jiu-jitsu. How are you finding the technique of kicking and flowing into the stance so you're safe for the takedown? How's all that? How's that coming on?
Right. To be fair, but it feels a bit weird. There's no takedowns and stuff like that. And the wrestling side of things and that, it's a bit weird because when you go for a takedown, like my background's boxing and mainly boxing. So when you go down, like when you're going for takedowns, it's like you're offering part of your body up that you wouldn't normally offering, and you're changing your balance in a way that you wouldn't. So it doesn't feel right even when you're doing it right. But that's why you do it over and over again. You do it a million times until that feels right again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, repetition is the key coming into new skills and stuff like that.
And at the moment, like, it's just like, obviously it's the same as boxing. Like there's always like 5 or 6 very basic things involved, right, with the sport of boxing or whatever. And if you master them things and focus training them things and repeat it and just try and perfect them every time, then you it's like your foundations. Like, obviously, if you get them foundations right, then obviously everything else comes into place after that. So obviously at the moment it's just drilling the basic things. Do you know
You
what I
kind
mean?
of found that out at the weekend with Joshua Usyk, Lewis.
Exactly that.
If Joshua had went back to basics and stuff like that, I don't think that was going to be any way on God's earth he was going to beat him in the points. He wasn't going to outbox him.
Too fast. But I was hoping Joshua was going to win the fight. To be fair, like he's one of our own. He's from our own, like our country. Like fucking obviously, it'd be nice for the belts to come back. And in the second round, I think it was, I noticed that when Usyk was putting, because Usyk's a southpaw, and when Usyk was putting his lead foot to the outside, Joshua's lead foot, and Joshua wasn't doing anything to combat against that. So Usyk was able to do all of his work and then get out the way. And he wasn't doing nothing to think. And after that, I said, because obviously that should have been one of the main things he focused on that fight camp. Like 100%. Just like the saying, the basic techniques. There's a basic technique that he should have been doing, and he never did. So I was like, as soon as I seen that, I thought he's not going to win it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think he should have went into that fight? Obviously, because I've always said, Lewis, the first fight, I believe in an old school 15-round fight, Joshua had a big chance of being stopped in the first fight. Do you think he should have applied? Should that have been around 13, Anthony Joshua? He should have just wiped the slate clean and just because I thought it was an obscure choice of him changing to Robert Garcia, because Robert Garcia's tactics, they do tend to work, but he needs a year, 2 year with you. Now, I know he had been training with Garcia in the December, the January. I just didn't think it was going to be enough time to have too much effect on Usyk's game. Do you know what I mean?
Right, what I find with Usyk, like, although he's come up a weight, he's brung his speed. Like, obviously, he's brung the speed that he had as a cruiser or wherever he was. Like, up to heavyweight division. And because he's a lot smaller, he likes to be in close range. Now, Joshua, although he's a heavyweight, he throws a lot of angled shots from close range. Like, if you look, he doesn't box, even though he's a rangy fighter, he doesn't box at range. Like, a lot of his work's done on the inside, which means that he's giving the ground away to somebody like Usyk. Do you know what I mean? You never seen, to be fair, that wasn't even that big of a crucial part in that last fight, but he should have been boxing up the jabbing a lot at range and at distance a lot more than he was. Like, that's what I think, and he wasn't. He went. He sat for the first couple of rounds. It looked like that was half the game plan, and then he just like unravelled and just went back to the same old Joshua. Do you know what I mean? Like, but you know what? Listen, it was a good fight, and it was a very technical fight. And if you look, if you watch that full fight back, not many of either of them shots got through. Everyone, they were all caught on the gloves, they boxed well. Do you know what I mean? But Usyk was the better man.
Do you think Anthony Joshua's got that mental block where if he knows he goes a certain pace during a fight, that he's going to gas in the later rounds?
Yeah, it looked that way, didn't it? There was definitely round management going on, wasn't there?
Yes, 1,000,000%.
But listen, he's been a good heavyweight of the era. You can't take it away from him. Do you know what I mean? Like, the man's won the Olympics, went all the way through, and did the Worlds. I think was it Derek Chisora who beat him in the Worlds, and then he ended up getting the thing? No, I think Chisora got third one in the Worlds.
What's that used for Usyk?
No, in the qualifiers for the Olympics in the world.
The amateurs, him and.
The amateur world championships was Chisora done it, and then he had a pro. Chisora had a pro.
Was it not Dillian White?
Dillian White, that's the one. Dillian White, aye. So Dillian White got further than him in the Worlds, but still, he's operated at high level in the boxing for years, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? So you can't take away from him. He's still a good fighter, even though a lot of people, you see that a lot in boxing, people do well and then they don't do so well. Do you know what I mean? And then everyone turns away from them. Like, obviously, fair enough, he's lost 2 fights to somebody, but Usyk's probably going to go down as one of the greats in the world. He's fucking two-weight champion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you think? Obviously, Fury's come out and made a statement saying he's willing to fight him, but it's going to cost a lot of money. Obviously, Fury is going to want to fight him. How do you see that going?
I've always want to back Fury. Always.
Yeah, same, yeah.
The man is just he's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? And to be fair, Usyk's like quarter of the size. He's knee high. Do you know what I mean? Knee high. Like, Fury's a proper heavyweight, like in every sense of the word. Do you know what I mean? Usyk shouldn't even come up to his nipple. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking, he's got a lot of work to do against the man with the best job in the business. Do you know what I mean? Like,
do you see a stoppage in that fight? Because I think if Fury was to do what Chisora did, try and walk him down, make it rough for him, I believe Usyk tires.
Yeah. You know, you can presume anything. I think it'll be I think summer next year that fight will get either happen or get announced, and it'll be it'll be phenomenal to watch, and it'll be nice to see. He'll be hated in Ukraine, I reckon, Fury, because he'll have took the belts off them God knows how many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but obviously we're talking about your offers before. You were saying you got offered to go to Gromdan, Poland. Is there any particular? Is there a certain issue that's holding that back, or?
I'm still unlicensed. Like obviously, you all know a big thing. So I'm not far off being finished, but obviously I can't go out the country yet. Basically, so that's the crack.
So that's
the perks of being a bad lad.
Well, it was an unexpected holder, but we're back now. Need attention on past times. Do you know what I mean? It's all about the now and what you're going to be doing in the future.
You know what I mean? That's it, mate. Obviously, like I say, I'm focusing. It's like that. Obviously, the first fight that I've had since I've been home, the one against David Duncan where I got beat. Like, there was a lot of things went wrong in the build up to it anyway. But
can we elaborate? Can I just stop you there, please, Lewis? Can you elaborate? Can you tell us much on the things that went wrong?
There was obviously, like I said, I got beat at the end of the day regardless. But like obviously my grandfather died a couple of weeks before and I ended up having to have a sit up for him, and there was just a few things. Obviously, I felt like I'd overtrained in the thing and I'd just come home. Like, you know, there was all sorts. I wasn't really like I was even saying to everybody in the build up, like obviously I didn't say it obviously over major and all that because I don't want people to know, but I was even saying to everybody who was around us, I feel like there's something missing. Do you know what I mean? Like in my personality, in my energy levels and stuff. And to be fair, that's how I ended up away from SBG in the first place, because I think Davey knew I wasn't ready to go in, and like I just come home, I shouldn't have been diving into fights, and I just wanted to go and have one straight away, because to me it's like, you know, momentum. Like obviously the way since like obviously I had a good momentum, everything was coming together, I was making progress to where I want to be, and then obviously that recall happened, and you know, like I lost all that momentum, so I was just trying to dive into it straight away,
build it up.
Like obviously, like we're one fight into building that momentum back now. You know, like obviously, like so we're getting there, but we've got to be logical about things and sensible. Because like I say, the MMA is the end goal for us. You know what I mean? Obviously, as far through that as we can get. So, do you know what I mean?
Hard work, perseverance, your mentality and determination. That's where you'll go.
That's it. Obviously, like, you know, even simple things like girls or drinking and all that stuff, like you've got to be very disciplined even when you're not fighting. It comes down to discipline. Like obviously you've got to, it's like averages and all that, you've got to work out how much of a backlash you'll get off one. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously work on that. So
obviously once your license ends and stuff like that, are you going to be fighting on the one at PFBA? If they have a one, not this one, if they come in like
after, listen, this is what I'm aiming for. So obviously straight after the title defense in February, like hopefully I might be able to sneak an MMA fight in before then, but I'm not guaranteeing it, right? But I'm wanting to put the skills in. Like so say like December time, I'm probably gonna have to hit fight camp for the February show. So fucking by December, I'll have done like 5 months or something of focusing on MMA, right? So I'm hoping I'll have put enough skill set in, so after the title defense in February, I should be able to have, you know, like at least an MMA fight. I'll be in somewhere near a MMA fight camp. But then obviously on the same side as that, I'll be open then because I'll have focused 5 months. So I'll have put them skill sets in, so I'll be ready to just switch the engine on when I need to.
Yes.
So then I can take any fight on that I want in fight camp. Because obviously I'll have already put the skill sets. I'll have the skill sets for everything that I need. Then, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
Like with the focus. So now obviously the straight. So come after the title defense in February. If somebody says to us, right, there's an MMA fight there from 8 weeks away. Right, boom, 8 weeks worth of hard work. I've already learned the basics of what I need to know, so then I can just focus on the stuff that I need for that particular person.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, very, very. It's a smart way of doing it, Lewis, because
you know what
it's the preparation going in behind this and the logicalness. It all's making sense, and that's the perfect way to do it. You're focusing on you.
So say then obviously look, I've already got obviously. Listen, I don't claim to be the best boxer in the world. I might have went a bit overboard when like last time, obviously before the fight and that, but it's just the way you go on in it. But like, do you know? I'm learning all the time, and obviously, so say now, obviously, I've got the basics of the boxing skill sets and the way to go about things in there. So say somebody rings and says, "Oh, there's a bare knuckle there." I've got 8 weeks of training on that for that one person.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And I've already got the basics, and so it's just literally get your gas tank up to scratch, and then you're away. Do you know what I mean? So, like yeah. So come February, at the end of this title defense in February for D-Day. Like, I'm open to offers. I'll go wherever they want. I'll have no license. I can go anywhere in the world and do what I need to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah.
Who was the title defense against?
Right. So it's rumored to be Dan Folger. That's what they've said so far. I was supposed to fight him anyway, but he said I've seen the other day that David Duncan and Wayne Morgan are fighting on the next one in October.
Right.
Like, and they've got it for a novice title there, but obviously it'd be nice to fucking take the winner of that one, really, wouldn't it? Because obviously David's already beat us, so I'd like to have the second fight to see where that one ends up again.
Yeah.
With us doing everything right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would like that.
Wayne deserves another chance because he put up a very, very good fight. Like it was a good scrap. We had a good scrap meeting. It was.
How did you find Wayne? Did you find him a little bit tricky?
It was he's a good fighter. Like I think it was like in the third round or something. We were telling each other we loved each other and that, man. You know what I mean? Because like we've been all the way through it together, really, me and him. Do you know, like he's a good lad, and we've always been close, like in that Spartan, there was some people that I really disliked, but he never was one of them. Do you know what I mean? Like we've always been we've had a mutual thing. So it was nice to be able to finally get the fight on because we were at one point. It was looking like we were going to fight in Spartan for a British, and then he ended up taking the world. Yeah, he took the world, didn't he? And then obviously I ended up with the British, and then the fight was always promised but never come about. You know, so
see, I had Wayne when we won the belt against Billy Hawthorne. I mean, that was his first fight from the pit into the ring. And I was like, Billy's never come out of a ring. Do you know what I mean? When you stick behind with jab, get it done this way. And he listened, you know. He listened. It was good. It was good stuff. But so, pardon?
He boxed well in that fight.
I did. He boxed really well. Like I said, but I've always said to Wayne, obviously after results, I was like, I think the pit is more suited to you, Wayne, because if you notice when Wayne fights, he comes forward constantly, smothers his punch. If you take one step, you're on the pit. If you take a step back, you're on the pit. Do you know what I mean? So that's the advice I sort of give him. The pit was me.
It was kind of a similar way that I got unravelled in
you came onto the scene with a bang, mate. I remember getting a phone call saying, Lee, that's a 6-foot-odd giant kicking off, screaming, any man in this crowd, I will fight now. I'll fight fucking anybody. And I was like, ooh, where's the video? And when I seen the video, I thought, oh, Deck, I feel sorry for you, bro. I do, honestly.
He's another good bloke. He's had a Achilles heel problem, hasn't he?
I don't know. I haven't spoken with him in ages. Like, I haven't got Facebook anymore, Lewis. I got a fucking dirty message insinuating about my son off a certain person, and I thought, I'm not giving you the fucking satisfaction to do that again. Like, so I'm just using Instagram.
You know what it is? You get them on Facebook, like you get them on all social media, mate. Like the people who wouldn't even look in your direction on the street, and they seem to fucking have a false thing on them.
Wait, fucking hell, I'm not a fighter, Lewis, but you know what I mean? I used to box and all that. Not to the fucking high standard and quality of what yous are, but I used to box and that. I just didn't even want to go and doing that rule. I'm not about that. I'm not that person. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what it is though, mate? Like, you know, like obviously this is the society, like, you know, the authorities seem to protect people.
Yes.
Like who instigate stuff like that.
100%.
Like, you know, like obviously there's always repercussions for people's actions, and you know, it'd save a lot of taxpayers' money if the authorities, if they could see that a repercussion was caused by the actions of a certain person.
100%.
They just turn the blind eye. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the type of world we live in, paedophiles and stuff like that get protected by the authorities.
Yeah.
You know what
100%.
I mean? Nothing said about it at all. Do you know?
They should be using people like yourself. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you've been in that system. You're a sports person. You could show them different routes and different avenues. Do you know what I mean? Your experiences, and that would be key, because they could see your belts and see what you achieved, and it would be like, I want to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%. So, Lewis.
Go on.
Sorry.
That's all right. Go on, bro.
No. I was just about to say. So, what days are you in the gym next week?
So every day basically I do my strength and conditioning is usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, but some days obviously it gets adjusted to obviously a Friday, like obviously, so it depends. I'm working with a man called Tony's. We were training in the fitness lab for that one. It's called Change Fitness, and it's probably the best strength and conditioning I've trained a lot of strength and conditioning coaches, but he's just perfect for me. Everything's figured, like everything's focused on exactly what I need. Like I was doing before that last fight there, I think I was broad jumping like 12 feet. Do you know, like fucking obviously part of like the explosiveness at the end of the session.
Yeah.
Like, and like the last bit of this certain workout, we were doing a 12-foot broad jump. Already fatigued, you know what I mean? Like obviously that's pretty exhausted. Like he had his right. Like we crammed. I think we crammed. I think because obviously they took. It was like the last 6 weeks or something. We took him on. I think we crammed 8 weeks or 10 weeks worth of training or something in the 6 weeks.
Bloody
hell. Him, and we got through it. You know what I mean? Like obviously, like to get right for that last fight.
It's intense, that mind.
I do that, and then I'm in every. I do obviously. I'm doing my runs, but the best thing is because I'm not in a fight camp now. It's not like I'm having to get up every day and get me run done. I'm just taking my time and enjoying it. I'm just keeping myself ticking over to a certain level. Do you know what I mean? Don't have to kill myself off no more. So I'm in the MMA gym Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on the evenings from 6 till 8. And then obviously one of my pals, Matty Crooks, he's fighting on, is it Made for the Cage or something like that? Or
Made for the Cage.
Made for the Cage, something mad like that, a cage fighting thing. It's his first MMA fight. He's a heavyweight like me. So he's fighting on that in October sometime. So I'm doing as much as I can with him when I'm needed for his fight camp.
Right. So
do you know what I mean?
Ideal for the pair of them, really.
Yeah, because like me and him, like fucking, we were good. Like, on his first ever sentence, me and him, like obviously, like did it together. And like, I remember teaching him how to use the weights. Like I would train at one point, and now like this long later, this far later, like what's 10 years or something, maybe longer, and we sat outside now in a top class MMA gym, like training together now. Do you know what I mean? It's
It's surreal.
Yeah. It's mad how things come round, you know. So, but yeah, like, obviously, it must have worked. The training we were doing when we were that age was like Davey keeps saying, it's kind of rare to have heavyweights with hips as flexible as ours and that. So, you know what I mean? We must have been doing the right things at the right times.
Progression, as long as you see the progression and you're being told that you're progressing, that's great. And as long as you hit those numbers, what the coaches and the team put to you, do you know what I mean? Smash them numbers, and your performance it'll astronomically elevate to so many levels. Do you know what I mean?
Like 2 years ago, even 7 months ago, my kicks didn't feel as comfortable as they are now. It's just like it just happens. It's just another extension of us now. Do you know what I mean? Like
Just a complete whip to them now.
yeah, like obviously, I've always been naturally. I've chucked like natural. Not that I should have been doing it, like, but like naturally chuck knees and elbows. The amount of people put to sleep with a knee, unbelievable. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But like obviously, like now we focus on all that type of stuff, and it's like my natural attributes are all coming together. Honest to God, like I say, it'd be nice to pick even just a British belt up all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
For every different fighting style up to the MMA, it'd be awesome. Do you know what I mean?
That would be a hell of a collection.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would be a hell of a collection. Boxing, BKB, MMA, crikey.
That's what I'm hoping for. Like obviously, like I say, it doesn't have to be a world belt but even just a British belt. I've got two now. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, but even just a British belt all the way up to just a talking point in it. Just might just catch Dana White's eye, and he might just say, you know what it is. That's obviously when a long way down the road, but well, that's the dream. You know what I mean?
100%. You've got. That's the thing. You've got to have some prosperous and. If as long as you see it, visualization, I believe is one of the most powerfulest tools on this earth to get into where you want to. Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever fucking read that book, The Secret?
I haven't.
No, that's what that's about. Like it's about law of attraction and all that. You know, like obviously,
yeah,
it's a good book. It's a good book. The Secret. There's a few of them. The Secret, the knowledge. I've only ever bothered reading The Secret. Like, but that's the same type of thing. Visualize it and then meditate on it, and it usually comes, John.
I read the Customata books, and obviously, he was obsessed with psychology in the sport. He was just obsessed with the mind. And he was bringing these techniques to Tyson, obviously, because Tyson used to get hypnotized, and he used to get all Mike's visualization done in that hypnotization state. And that's when he had that ruthless streak in the ring, because that's what he was being taught under hypnotized.
There's another example. It's like similar to the way Usyk was, you know, because he was that small.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, if you have head movement and you're that small and you're that
100%,
fast, you become a real problem for a decent heavyweight.
Big problem.
Because that head movement, you can't hit the head.
No,
you know, you're that small.
It's constantly off that center line. And if his head's not, his footwork's getting them out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That's exactly that. That's why it was such a problem for people, like, because his head movement, how small he was and how powerful he was. By the time you've took one shot, he's in on you, and 100% game over. Like,
and Lewis, this is what people don't quite understand as well. So people say, the tippy tappy shots over accumulation. He'll be like 20%, 40%, 60, 30% power. He will differ that, and people find it hard to understand that the training and the lifestyles that these people lead is so much different power-wise to what we can comprehend. Do you know what I mean? Over time, it does damage, and that's what I believe Usyk is also very good at, differentiating his power.
Yeah, he is, and he's just textbook boxing, and he distracts you with a couple of shots and then sneaks one in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he was good. Like it was a good performance. It was good to watch. The full fight was good to watch. Full thing.
Yeah, 100%. So Lewis, I'm gonna try and get through for an evening session next week.
100%.
I'm at the neurologist's on Friday anyway, so I don't see why I can't just get the metro through and do it that way.
Yeah, sound.
You know what I mean?
What do you call it? I tell you, I've been working with a charity. They doing a walk. I'd like to get it out there. The man called Tom Judge. He's had a lot. Obviously, he's had quite a few mental health problems and that. And obviously, he ended up in a bad way. And he's ended up coming through the other side of it.
Right.
And he's opened up a charity, and I want to forget the name of it now. Because I'm on the spot, I've put myself on the spot. But he's opened up a charity for people I've got a wristband somewhere with its name on it.
Right.
He's opened up a charity for people who have tried suicide.
Right.
And obviously, and what he's doing to raise awareness about this problem is he's walking from Middlesbrough. Right, I was there doing a like a promo for them the other day.
Right.
He's walking from Middlesbrough to Benidorm. He's doing 20 miles a day, 100 miles a week every week. I think it's going to take him something like 3 months or something to do it. And so obviously I've been working with him. I can't believe I forgot the name as well because I've been keep it in the head. But
I tell you what we'll do, if like I say, if you can't find it in a minute, when you get the link or when you get the name, and I'll stick it in the description box when I upload the video.
Yeah, that's perfect. Just obviously, look, they're trying to raise money to get a caravan somewhere nice or a jolly like a holiday home for people who are going through counselling. Obviously, people who are going through mental health counselling, and it's fine a bit hard. Like have suffered like hardships in their life previously. I can't believe it. Honestly, it's quite an important thing. It wasn't. I forgot the fucking name. It got me on the spot. But I'll send you the name straight over. But he's like I said, that Tyson Fury's involved on it. I'm going to go do 20. Like I'm going to do one stint. Hopefully, because after my license runs out, they're still walking on the other side. So I'm going to try and do one stint with them in England.
Mm-hmm.
And one stint with them over in Benidorm as well. Like,
get in, lad.
It is a good thing. And it's a really good cause. Like, so, and this is the type of thing that I'd like to get. Like, I like to give back at. Like obviously because you get a bit of influence with being a fighter.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is one of the things that's like quite close to me. I'm quite passionate about looking after people who've been in that situation and stuff. People who are dealing with mental health, or people who just going down the wrong path, kids. I've said it over and over again. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So so obviously, I'll link over and I'll know as soon as I could get off the phone because I do this all the time. Names of people and that.
I'm the same, Lewis. I'm the same. Don't worry about that, man, big lad. But I'll share it on Instagram and I'll get it in the YouTube description box.
Yeah, because they've got like a crowdfunding page and that, so any help for them would be appreciated. Like I know Tyson Fury and John and Tommy and somebody else is going to do a stint of the walk with them at some point. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, brilliant. I know I'm going to go down, but it'd be good to just get everybody behind them and back them, like, and try and help them raise that awareness and obviously the money for the thing as well. Do you know?
Yeah, good man. Well, Lewis, we've got a couple of minutes left, so do you want to thank any of your sponsors?
So Alishan and Shearers, Alishan by the Sea and Shearers, and Mashi Ahmed and Mons Chowdhury. I'd like to thank them for all their sponsorships and just being behind us and being with us all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Change Fitness. I'd like to thank them. Then just like Davey and everybody who supported us, Kath Miller, Tony. Just everybody that's been behind us and helps us. Thanks for the help and the progress, and let's keep at it. Do you know what I mean? Keep going forward.
Brilliant. We're at the end of Lewis, my man. Lewis, it's been nice speaking to you again. I'm honestly buzzing that you've came on. This is meant to have happened for the last week, but we're getting it out there, so I'm a happy man. I'll be in touch at the weekend to tell you a specific day, but I think it'll be Friday.
Right, we just keep us posted and we'll go from there, right?
Not a worries, big man. Enjoy the rest of your night, right?
Love, Kurt. See you in a bit.
Yeah, see you later. I love you, big bro. Ta-da.
Right.